Hey everybody, thanks for watching. I am in Mississippi. Where in Mississippi are we, Tony?
Starkville, Mississippi.
Starkville, Mississippi. This is the place. This is real close to Mississippi State University, which is how many miles from here?
Oh, 5 miles.
5 miles, really close. So Tony is a golf instructor. He's also a student at Mississippi State now, and doing his master's in what, Tony?
Neuromechanics, biomechanics, and then PhD in exercise science.
So for somebody who doesn't know anything about that, is that just the study of how the body moves, or what is that?
We're really looking at how the brain, the body, and the environment are all integrated into human performance.
Okay.
So
okay.
regardless whether sports, obviously golf, could be occupational, we're looking at how all these dynamics fit together to do the best you can in whatever it is that you're trying to do with your task.
So Tony, I got to know because I had this major issue where I was going like this, driving super hard. And one of my channel subscribers, one of you guys said, oh, you need to see Tony Luczak's videos. Excuse us, they're doing like some construction over here. So you need to see his videos. So I watched them, and the thing that was most interesting to me, Tony, off the bat, is tell me the story of how you met Jeff Flagg, and then also how you guys started working together.
Okay. My son, Jack, at the time was 7 years old, getting ready for baseball.
Yeah,
you know, T-ball. So we go over to the place called The Swing and talk to Thomas over there, and he goes, well, get with that guy over there. He's kind of the hitting guy. That's Jeff over there.
Okay.
And Jeff was working with one of the other kids, and we were kind of waiting around.
Yeah. And
so we get a chance to talk to him and introduce, and here's Jack and this.
He's like the hitting instructor at this
He's
place.
the hitting instructor over there. All of a sudden, he recognized, he goes, you do golf? I said, well, yeah. So we spend the next 45 minutes, poor Jack, he's just wandering around now. We spend 45 minutes talking about golf.
It's supposed to be his time to get better at baseball.
Exactly. So we take over with golf. And all of a sudden, he talks about this interest in long drive, and I said, well, you know, come on by the studio.
So he's like, at that point, he plays golf, and like his friends are telling him like, oh, you hit the ball pretty long.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And he was finishing up his degree in kinesiology, so we kind of had similar backgrounds.
Yep.
We knew what we were wanting to get into.
Yeah.
And I said, well, come on by. I said, if you like what I have to say, because I said, it's going to probably be different than baseball.
Yeah.
I said, then we can go. And if you don't like it, you know, no foul.
Yeah.
So he came over and
over to your lab?
Over to MSU. So at that time I was director of golf, and I had built a studio.
Yeah.
And so he came in, we looked at it, we talked about it, and again, it's a different approach. Yeah. And what we decided is we had two questions. Jeff, do you want to have a golf swing, or do you kind of want to have this kind of what he calls a gorilla swing, kind of this hit, and I call it a sling. Yeah. Those are the two styles that you could have a golf swing for. Yeah. My swing is like 95% power, but 100% efficiency and effectiveness. Okay. Yeah. The hit and sling type thing. So
just to explain, like let me see if so the hit and sling motion. So you're separating the golf swing into two parts, and it could be very like blended motions of both, right?
Exactly.
So the complete 100% hit and sling one. Is that what you said? Hit and sling?
Yeah, sure. Something like that.
So would be here, and it'd be this and that.
You got it.
Yeah.
That's it. Perfect.
That was my swing, exactly. Like
and you see that with the long drive. And obviously coming back from that this week is all the guys except for Jeff have that type of motion. Tim Burks, I think, is kind of a hybrid of that. The thing is, you can get that face rotation gives you a few extra miles an hour, but that ball can go right or left. Now, Jeff didn't quite hit the numbers we needed this week, but
Jeff, just to recap, Jeff won the World Long Drive Championship. That's where the story is going.
Yeah, we got to get back to that.
Jeff won the World Long Drive Championship in 2014.
Correct.
And he went this week, just this last week, and made it past the round of 64, 32, and then into the round of 16, and he lost by 2 yards there. So, but getting back to when you met Jeff and you took him to the lab and changed his swing a little bit.
We talked about this, and he says, I want a golf swing. I said, well, that means then physically you got to give me the speed. Yeah. You know, you got to give me everything you got, because I can build consistency, and we built a straight golf swing. So he could swing a golf club about 140 to 145 has been max, and hit the ball dead straight. Yeah. And so now we're carrying it about 370. And that I know, if we can get to 145, and so he bought into it.
Jeff was he was a baseball player at MSU, a famous baseball program, and then he was in the Met system. Is that right?
He was with the Mets.
Yeah.
And he did that for X number of years.
Right.
And kind of just basically got too old to be brought up.
Right.
He could hit it a mile, but again, some of his coaches were all body and hips, and then the bat came last, and that caused some of the timing. Now, if he got a hold of it, man, that's 465 feet out of the park.
Yeah.
But it was once in a while.
Yeah.
So
I know that another person in the, and this kind of goes to your whole philosophy on the, we're on so many tangents here, but first time we're meeting, so bear with us. I know that another guy that was in the Mets system that changed his game absolutely completely was a guy that I work with at my job, Justin Turner. And Marlon Byrd said the thing that revived his career was, instead of, baseball, so many guys say you want to be back in the box and wait for it.
Yeah.
And Marlon Byrd said no. He's like, catch the ball out in front.
Yeah.
Here, get it out in front there. And Justin Turner turned from a platoon player to a regular starter and a very, very good one. And then Marlon Byrd went from like almost basically being washed out of the major leagues after 8 years to he has this resurgence. So just catching it out in front.
And actually, your demonstration of that is well, the first one was Jeff's baseball swing.
Yeah, back in the box. And
I tell you, he could launch it.
Yeah.
But
that's kind of Tim Tebow's doing that right now.
Okay.
Yeah, who's also in the Mets. I'm a Phillies fan, so I don't know why all this Mets talk is coming up. But so you and Jeff started working on his golf swing, and then you had pretty good success just in your second year of trying.
So the second year, I mean, we really just, we got a hold of some equipment. I really was, triple X shafts, quad X shafts. You had all these different things.
Yeah.
So we just got stock stuff that we knew that this would fit into his.
Yeah.
And we found the right feel. And so then in 14, we worked on it. He was training at a company called Pure Motion out of Birmingham.
Yep.
A lot of functional fitness there. He was going. He had the swing concept dialed in. And the video I've used as his model, I knew he was going to win beforehand because it was lined up perfectly, how the club is designed and everything else. So what was funny during that is after the second round out in Paiute, which is just outside Vegas, ball snap hooking. Under the pressure, he reverted back to his old system.
Yeah, because it's hard to let it go when you're,
And so we were able to kind of click a line, get a line, feel an outside line, and then the rest is history. So he won in 2014.
What is so funny about when he won, too, not to put anybody on the spot, is I know your philosophy with him, and I know Jeff's philosophy of what he's thinking about when he's swinging, but in the slow motion of it, all you hear about is his lower body is driving so hard. And they couldn't believe when he did win, how much, one, he filled up the grid, and two, just his golf swing looked like an actual golf swing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, he could, if he had the time and the resources to put into playing with that swing, I don't think there's anybody on the planet right now that has a better golf swing. And that produces the power at 6'6".
So as far as, when you combine efficiency to
the physical
to the actual
attributes.
way he moves.
Exactly.
So for people who don't know, what is Jeff trying to do in his swing? So like I was just saying, people were talking about how well his lower body moves, but he's actually thinking about the arms more than anything else for creating a speed, is that right?
Exactly. So when we get up to the top, we are trying to get those arms.
Yeah.
And it's really simple.
Yeah.
So go ahead and get up to the top.
Sure.
So you're basically trying to take your hands and hit my hands as fast as you can on the way down.
Okay.
Exactly.
Right. I didn't want to hurt anybody, but yeah.
No, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So because, and we'll maybe get later into the science behind this if you want.
We will.
It gets into how the mind, what the intent is, and it gets into motor control and motor learning aspect of things, not the kinematics. So we don't get into what happens first and second and what we see. What happens inside the body and what drives the systems to create that perfect timing. Because your best shots you hit, a lot of effort or a little effort?
Oh, just smooth,
What happens when you miss hit it? How much effort does that take compared to those good shots?
Oh, it feels like belabored. Like you're dead tired at the end of a bad round and you feel like you could go for another 18 at the end of a good round.
Exactly. So the effort is muscular effort.
Yeah.
So if we're not using the muscles efficiently in the right sequence, we're going to have an inefficient swing. You're going to be working so hard. So when you put all that effort into it, you're trying to move this, but hands and arms are holding onto the club.
That was the first question I asked Tony, and we'll get to your guys' questions in a second, but that was the first question I asked Tony, was that, okay, so people are going, does lower body power and speed and all this stuff, does it translate eventually up this chain to the club head? And you said something about, well, there's not a magic muscle that goes from your feet through your hips. It's like one muscle that goes all the way to the...
Right.
So does this lower body hard power get to the club head?
No.
No.
Okay. No. Now, do we need it? Yes, we do need it. We need everything to maximize speed, but it has to be coordinated.
Yep.
So without getting too complicated into it, it's more about body segment coordination than it is about this drives this. The kinetic link principle, it's a principle, it's a theory. Yeah. There is some positives to it, there's some, but there's also some things that haven't been solved, and that's where I'm looking into.
Right. Like somebody, one of our viewers from Australia who doesn't want to be named, but said to me that every knife is a serrated edge knife if you have a big enough microscope. And a lot of this kinematic sequence stuff, when you see, you would imagine before the stuff came out, you know, they thought it'd be one bump for the hips, one bump for the shoulders, but really you have to go to like, almost like the millisecond level to see the differences in hips, shoulders, that, you know. Exactly,
and it really, those kinematic variables that they produce are the effect, they're not the cause. Okay. So it's kind of like a temperature gauge. Okay. It lets us know, you know, hey, right now we got a beautiful day out here. Yeah. But I can put a match underneath that and raise the temperature up to 90, but that doesn't change the environment. So it's really, what are the variables that are creating that effect? Okay. So they're just measuring the effect, then using that effect as their means to, as a model for novices to improve from. And that's what gets in trouble, because you can't use kinematics to teach motor control and motor learning skills.
And that's where a lot of the things that you teach people are counterintuitive, and I think cause a lot of controversy, because we see slow motion video in golf. Right. And without a doubt, when you're watching slow motion video in golf, the hips are going first. They're going before the shoulders. They're going before the arms. Yep. Yet you're telling people that the arms should drive the power, and they're thinking, well, if I do that, I'm gonna look like this. Sometimes you have to tell people to do things that aren't actually happening, but that's the intent you need.
Exactly. And when we get into attention and anticipation into motor learning, that's where all this kicks in. Yeah. And the difficult thing is, when, for the average golfer, they learn best through analogies. And so I'll say, okay, let's Brendan, go ahead and throw a ball. Yeah. If you went to throw a ball and we said, pick out a target.
Let's do it.
Okay. So
I played at a slightly lower level, JV baseball.
Well, Jeff. I can tell you, Jeff throws a golf ball about 70 to 80 yards. So that's what I'm expecting out of you right now.
Okay, what's that blue one? So, all right, let's see. This is me throwing a golf ball.
Yeah. That's a good throw.
No, I can throw.
That's a good throw.
So it's pretty good, yeah.
So, where was your focus? Did you
out
think
there?
About,
my focus was out there.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get a good crow hop. I like to do that. Yeah. That was my only,
So, did you think about the proximal distal kinematic sequence in order to throw that ball?
I was trying to do this. No, I'm kidding. I wasn't trying to do that. No, I was just trying to, I was trying to get my arm moving fast and just stepping.
That's it. Yeah. So all these variables that we've been talking about happened without you consciously trying to make them happen. Yeah. And that's the biggest difference, is when you look at, you can't use kinematics to create good motor skill. Yeah.
Okay, let's get into your questions. Tony will be in the Be Better Golf video called The Source of Power that some other instructors are participating in. It's really cool. You guys should check it out. The link is in the description below. Let's go to Instagram. So follow Tony on Instagram at Tony Luczak. Spell that for people, Tony, while I get this going.
Luczak.
And then you can get me on Instagram at @BB_golf show. So let's go to Instagram. I did a little post that says questions for Tony. And you guys are definitely the smartest audience in golf.
They're great. They're great.
This is very different than watching the Golf Fix or Golf Channel or something like that. It's very different. Okay. MS Solera is asking, what's different about teaching someone long drive fundamentals versus average golfer?
I would say if we take a look at Jeff's swing right now,
yeah,
there's no difference.
Okay.
I would teach you and every golfer the same way. Now, we may use different strategies based on their current skill level.
And different equipment, sure.
And different equipment, yeah, because Jeff's batting a 5.5, 48-inch shaft, and double or triple X?
5.5 degree.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can't even hit it. It's like
there's only a few guys in the world that
exactly.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, we're going to do the same thing because we built a golf swing. And so that golf swing is what a tour player could benefit from, the average golfer can benefit from. So there is no difference. Now, if we have to get into this hit and sling, now we're talking about an extreme strength training program.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't want to play golf with that.
Yep.
So.
Okay, this is a question I know you have some strong opinions on. What can someone do to get their takeaway more consistent? A lot of people that watch this channel, a lot of golfers, especially adult learners, who is our focus here, are obsessed with the takeaway. So they're wondering how to get the takeaway more. What are your thoughts on?
There's two different ways of doing it.
Yeah.
And it has to be done sooner or later. Meaning, if we take a look at how this golf club is designed.
Yeah.
Okay. It's designed to basically, if you took a hammer, and this is to me the best way to describe it. If we took a hammer, had a nail, and we wanted to strike that, there's going to be a specific movement that you're going to take that hammer and hammer that nail this way.
Right.
Well, that same principle of lining up center of mass with the head to center of mass with the golf ball to hit the ball straight is the same.
Okay.
So when we take a look at it, and we'll go right and left-handed golfers. I'm sure you got some left-handers out there. So with right-handed golfer, it's as simple as taking the club back with a little bit of what is called extension in that right wrist. That sets the club back. So from the side view, that club's here, it's there. So it's roughly parallel to our feet, parallel to the ground, and it's set right here. Now a lot of people will say, well, that face looks closed. It's square to its path. It's square to its trajectory. Because if you took a hammer, would you rotate
90
the head
degrees
of the
to
hammer?
that? Yeah, right.
Exactly, exactly. And the same thing would then be there. This has to happen on the way down. So my feeling is, I'd rather set it on the way back and not worry about it than try to find it on the way down.
Yeah. Okay, so.
I don't have enough time to practice and hit balls.
Right. Like that, right.
So I would go ahead and set up. That was a little bit more left-handed.
Yep. Oh, okay. Have your right hand control it.
Right hand's got to control this. Again, if you're gonna, when you went to throw that ball, did you think about your left arm at all?
Oh, no.
And I can see a lot of tension here.
Other than my left arm, I do when I throw. I do want to like get it out of the way.
Yeah.
You know the.
Yeah, and that's gonna be your lat that's pulling on that.
Yeah.
But what we'll see in golf is if that club face rotates open.
Yeah.
Toe up. A lot of people said try to get the club, but that face is open to its path. Well, now that's the left hand taking it back. Right hand now is nowhere to be seen in a sense. And now I'm asking you to switch hands and then bring it right on the way down. That's like juggling. Juggling is hard to do in 250 milliseconds.
Yeah.
So we want right hand control back, right hand control down. Left hand kind of works as almost a default fulcrum. So one of the issues I see that I would love to see you start changing is feeling that.
Okay.
And that's
so it's going to feel to me like the face is right at the ground.
Right, and this is a touch exaggerated, but I just would want to have you feel it to make sure.
Because I know so many of the people who watch this channel struggle with fanning it open and coming inside like this.
Yeah.
So let's just go towards the camera there and face it at the ground.
Okay.
Like this?
Let's do it again. Set up. I'd go a little stronger with your right hand, just a touch. There we go. Okay. Right to there.
Okay, gotcha.
That's the feeling. So from here, I'll do a drill where I'll say, let's start there. Now take it up to the top and hit it. And that's something that we'll do off the tee and stuff like that. But that's just, okay, that's the feeling. That's where I'm supposed to be. Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's go on to our next question. Let's start rolling these a little bit.
Yeah, because we could spend all day on
Yeah, I know. Very, very much.
These are great questions.
All right, another backswing question. Swing thought to achieve a steeper and more connected backswing. So many people, like I said, are going low and inside. They want it more connected as far as it's not going like this. So this would be what he struggles with, in my opinion. You know, and he wants to be.
Okay. What I would do is go ahead and set up. Do your setup.
Yep.
Take the left hand off the club.
Yep.
Go ahead and just let that hit that first position.
Yep.
Now think about throwing. Do you know where to position your hand to throw a ball?
I know what it feels like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then, so you're not going to do it here, are you?
No.
You're not going to do it up here. So you find the position where if you're going to throw that club.
Yeah, right there.
Okay, now put your left hand on the club. There you go.
Oh, that's way deeper than I would feel normally.
Yeah, and also when you get into the dynamic motion, it's going to change.
With two hands on it.
With two hands on it. But there you go. So again, if we look at it, it's going to be somewhere related over to this right shoulder.
Yeah.
I kind of the hands get lined up through the shoulder joint towards the ball. So that way I'm throwing that club into that ball.
I know that you and Jeff really don't mind too much of a flying right elbow if that feels okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, okay.
It loads up the pack.
I know Jeff likes it. It really gives you a turn if you're,
Exactly.
That's way overdone, but
Yeah, I mean, we don't get it here, but if you're going to get into throwing, how well would you throw a ball?
Yeah, if you're here and there, definitely you're going to be.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Some of these are pretty complicated. All right, Matt from England is saying, how to get more hip turn that leads to more extension through the follow through. So I would imagine they want more of that two cheeks at the camera look, more hip turn, they're kind of like,
Okay.
What was the name of the guy from Caddyshack? Mr. Haversham? The old lady and his wife? So that kind of look.
We really don't want turn. I'm going to use a different word because when we turn, we're twisting.
Yeah.
That's my understanding of a turn. Well, I'm trying to hit the golf ball forward. We want Jeff to put all the power forward.
Yeah.
And again, we've used force plates so we know where force is going. We actually want the hips to work up and get this right hip up over this left toe. So with the hips working up, that's extension. That's what the hips do. Yeah. That's what this segment does. So if I'm going to turn, I'm going to get stuck back here.
Yeah.
So if I can get the hips up, get through, now this hip is forward, now I can extend as far as possible. Now my right shoulder's possible. But if I go this way, it's much shorter because my joints are back here.
What's much shorter?
That extension.
Okay, gotcha.
My arm is extended, but guess what? That reach is here. Now if I get my hips to come up.
Yeah.
So really what we work on is trying to feel impact is beyond the ball. It's over here.
Okay, so now the follow-up question to that is that extension, okay, we'll go with that, we like that, but how do we keep it from happening back here? How do we keep it from happening early extension?
Right.
Is the buzzword that people...
Again, it's too simple.
Yeah.
It really is. And I know everyone's going to hear this kind of common thing, but this is the way it works because if I'm throwing this way, I'm swinging a golf club, and I'll have my students do this a lot of times. We're getting that throw here.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that the better this goes, so the sequence from here is more of the arms driving to about here. This is called the acceleration phase right here. So from here, that's where that's coming in. So it's coordinating that arm swing in the forward swing, and then the body through. So it's kind of an arms, body, club motion through impact.
Okay, so now let's talk about the person who might overcook it. So J.R. Blake from KPMG is asking, how to stop the arms and hands from running away from the body on the downswing. Is that even possible?
No.
Okay.
That's a illustration or misinterpretation of what's going on. So here's what, and I see this all the time with instructors saying, hey, you're just casting the club.
Yeah, they're running away from, right. Yeah.
No, what it is with this momentum with the body, if I do that, my arms and club go that way.
Yeah.
So it's the arms responding to an early body rotation or an early body movement. If I say and I've seen you do this on the show, which is great, is you're throwing that ball down. Your arms don't go. Because your intent and all that is there, that's arm speed.
Yeah.
So it's more of, it's lack of using the arms that causes the body to take over, which throws the arms out.
They're confusing, saying that their arms are running out. They're confusing body rotation as the arms going out.
Exactly.
So they're really rotating the body open there, and it looks like from a 2D angle of the camera, it looks like you've done this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you'll end up feeling with all your mishits is the body gets quick, and then you try to save it with your hands. So everyone says, oh, you're using too much arms and hands. And it's like, well, it's because you're using them at the wrong time. If you use the arms first and then the body and everything at the bottom, you won't have that feeling.
So I really encourage you guys, through the link below, you'll see a link for this thing called the Source of Power. Go through and check that out. On the next video, we're gonna do, Tony's gonna give me a lesson. So basically, you guys know my swing really well, and a lot of you have the same faults. So really, it's just gonna be a very self-centered video all about me, but I think you'll learn a lot from it. So thanks for watching, everybody. And you can find Tony, the link for his YouTube page is below. Some really cool stuff out of there. And also, there's gonna be exclusive content from Better Better Golf on his channel. So, but you have to subscribe to his channel to see it. So go over to his channel and check it out. And also, third thing is we're actually gonna be playing golf on the golf course. Thanks for watching.